Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. I am your host, Mike Larkin, and joining me tonight is model and female strike force participant and contestant, Miss Alexx Knightley. Alexx, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. First and foremost, you're doing a lot of great work on the modeling side of things, and we'll get into the OnlyFans here in a second. But you started out here with FSF, Female Strike Force. You were a part of FS8, Total Elimination against Julia Fire and Summer Shameless, making it to round two, and a part of FSF 10, where you lost in the first round to Radha Devi. You got a lot of participation and a lot of following through Female Strike Force. So let's talk about this
Yes.
first and foremost. Female Strike Force. How'd you find out about it? How this coming to fruition? Let us know the deal.
So it all started. I did some custom photos for a friend. Um, and he wanted fighting photos. I've done kickboxing in the past, so I had some knowledge of stances and things like that. So I did some customs for him and he loved them. He asked me if he could post one just as a, hey, this person is great, like this is her work type thing. And he did that. And that's how Female Strike Force found me. It was actually through him because he's big in the fighting industry and stuff, and he follows a lot of companies. And um, they found me through him and messaged me and asked me if I'd like to join and sent me the application. And the rest is history.
Well, I mean, from a following stance and from a virtual fight league stance, it gave you a lot of notoriety within the promotion. And I mean, I look at it from a stance too as well. We all come in different body form, shape, and sizes. And I think you, with the voluptuosity factor and that gravitational pull that you have, I think a lot of people kind of gravitated towards you, wanted to see you go far in female strike force, and you made quite the name for yourself thus far.
Yes, definitely. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, obviously, because from looking at it, I was one of the, like you said, more voluptuous girls that they have, and I didn't know how I would be receptive or how I would be, you know, people would accept me or not, and it's been fantastic.
I think in today, we are now in the year 2023, folks, as we approach this new year. It's so interesting because, I mean, from where we were back in the 90s with, mind you, I love me some Naomi Campbell, put on some Michael Jackson, keep it in the closet. I love me some Tyra Banks, give me some America's Next Top Model. Hell, put on some life size for me. But also at the same time, we're in that day and age where the model types like that, then plus size model with Ashley Graham and so many different people of that nature, we've really come to evolve of the evolution of women from an imagery standpoint and really accepting, mind you, there's some ignorant sons of bitches out there, but forget them, eliminate the hate, if you will. But us at the same time, the more positivity and open mindedness out there really goes to show in the world of modeling and just the overall female content creation.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely changed from when I was growing up to now. Um, I'm in my 30s, so I mean, growing up, it was always being heavier is bad, having weight on you is bad. You need to be a Victoria's Secret model. You need to look like this, you need to look like that. And it's definitely changed um a lot since then.
I agree. And the way I look at it from a stance too, as well is now, mind you, whether you're in the adult entertainment industry, it's a popular category. Whether you're doing customs, popular category. Whether it be foot fetishes, what have you, the fetish industry, there's a popular category. And I'm going to say this from the male point of view, and I'll speak from the male side of things. I think a lot of us guys are attracted more to the plus side. I mentioned the voluptuosity factor, as I like to coin it, man. It's one of those things too, as well. It's y'all got that stride and you got that confidence about you. It's like, hey, say what you will about me. This is who I am. A big girl, internal, external beauty. This is me. I'm sexy. I love myself. I think guys like myself and a lot of guys can agree. It's that confidence and swag about ladies such as yourself, beautiful ladies, that is, that really has that appeal and that law of attraction to you.
Yeah, definitely. I've noticed the confidence change since I've started too, because when I started out, I didn't have a lot of confidence. Um, and just being accepted the way that I am. Because I wanted to hide parts of my body because I was like, no, those are like fluffy, you know? Like I don't want to show that. And then just being so accepted, just the way that I am has definitely changed my outlook on myself. And just being more of a confident woman. And that's kind of affected me in all aspects of life now, and it's something I'm never going to forget.
I think we've touched upon this, but I got to mention to you this on air because I'm proud of you in this sense. We talked about the imagery side of things. From where you started with imagery after photo, the confidence does shine through in your photos.
Yeah, definitely. At the end of the year, I did a kind of a look back from when I started to now, and just posting some of those first photos that I posted and seeing the difference, just seeing in my face how uncomfortable I was in those first few photos. And then now it's a completely different person.
And I think it only just continues to show not just your growth, but the experience that you had. And like I said, your star is going to continue to shine. But also at the same time here, Miss Alexx Knightley, I mean, for what you're doing with your Fansly, with your OnlyFans, I mean, we get to see a lot of great content, whether it be shower content, whether it be solo content, what have you. There's a lot of sexy stuff on there that really is appealing to one's eyes. So I got to say, from that front, the confidence level we mentioned there, but also at the same time, you provide a lot of variety to people that really do gravitate towards this. I mean, you should be proud of the variety that you also uphold.
Yeah, definitely. And I love being a creative person. I've always been a creative person since I can remember. Doing arts and crafts with my mom and sister, that kind of stuff. I just I figured if I'm gonna take pictures, I want them to be kind of classy, I guess is a way to put it. I mean, I'm still naked, but it's classy. um, I just want them to be fun and have be different and grab somebody's attention like, oh hey, she's got paint all over her body, or you know, something along those lines that is not just me taking a selfie in the mirror, and which I mean there's nothing wrong with that. I still do that. But just having some sort of something different to kind of attract people.
Right. And I think with the paint, first of all, for those who've not seen these paint photos, my goodness gracious, cover in paint looking good. I like your style. Well, first of all women are works of art. So hey, incorporating the work of art part. But also at the same time, like you mentioned, the variety really goes into it. And also it's kind of like sexy elegance, if you want to put it like that. Because you said classiness. I kind of find like sexy elegance. So
Yes.
you have to look at it from that stature, from the imagery standpoint. I'll use a pop culture reference here. Look at Bob Ross. When that son of a gun would paint those photos, man, we start out with like a little smidge here, and then bada bing, bada boom, at the end of 30 minutes, we have like a waterfall of mountains, mud on a me. So we have that vibe. If Bob Ross could look at a painting like that, I think we all can look at images such as an Alexx Knightley or whoever's out there, whatever they're doing, and really showcase and really understand the work of art that we're seeing and that we're really visualizing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Definitely.
And that's the thing too, man. Like with what you're doing as well, we talk about the content, we talk about everything that you did from Female Strike Force, but you, on the other hand, my friend, you're going out there and showcasing what I'd like to call not just the overall internal and external beauty, but the fun side. Which I mean by the fun side is, man, here's the attraction here. You got the tats, you got the piercings. It's the edge, I think, that also people gravitate to. I mentioned the edge here, Alexx.
Yes, the edge. It kind of happened by accident. um, Growing up, I always was kind of in that emo phase. I'm an elder emo, as I like to say. Um, and I've always wanted to wear like black lipstick, and I've always loved tattoos and piercings, and so that's just kind of started when I was 18 and able to go get them on my own. Um, but as far as like the black lipstick and stuff like that, I've never worn it before. And I worn it for a picture, and because I got it for Halloween, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna take pictures with this. This is gonna look so cool. And ever since then, it's just been my thing, apparently. um, every time I take a picture and I don't have it on, I have somebody commenting, "Where's the black lipstick? I miss the black lipstick." It never fails. There's always at least one.
Well, I'll say this: it's very appealing. Number one, and number two, it's become your signature. But also number three, I mean, you could say it looks like you're an extra in like an Evanescence video or a little My Chemical Romance, name whatever emo Papa Roach
Yes.
video at the time. So it fits. And also, I think what's different is like we talk about ourselves and where we are from high school to adulthood. Like I'll include myself here. I was a part of the Get Along gang. There was a lot of goths and there was a lot of styles that really, it's set of groups that we had. But also at the same time, I think what we also gravitate towards those people, like we do with yourself, it's the uniqueness and it's the overall genuinity. But also at the same time, it's like, you know what? This is who I am. I like me some piercings. I like me some tattoos. The body's the temple. Maybe I'll put a piercing in, really showcase who I am. So it's that type of vibe that we get from that type of group and that subset that really we gravitate towards, and also uniqueness personified with preferences.
Yep, exactly. Just, and you and I have touched on this before, it's just not giving a fuck about who thinks, about what you look like or what you dress like. As long as you're happy and you're confident in what you're doing, that's all that matters.
Well, we're both in our 30s now. We'll talk about this, folks, because I just turned 30 years old last year. I'm going to be 31 here in April. But god dang, man, like we're both in our 30s, and I've really come to the point in my life, and I think a lot of us can attest when I say this verbiage here, Alex Knightley, you don't give a fuck. Like when you're, it's like what I like to call that LOA. And what I refer to that is it's the level of acceptance. So you want to be liked, you know what I'm saying? What's the new trend? What's this? What's that? I got to have this. I got to have that. But once you get like to your mid 20s, early 30s, you stop giving a fuck. And what's great about that is too, okay, this person doesn't like me. Oh, they like this and I like that. Who cares? We can agree to disagree because every day nobody nowadays wants to do this instead of
Mm-hmm.
this. So we're in a day and age now where it's just like, all right, this is me. If you don't like me, whatever. If you like me, cool.
Right.
Whoever fucks with you, whoever likes you, that's all you need to focus and put out your energy towards.
Right, exactly. And I've said this before. I just went to Mexico in December with my sister, and I was so concerned at the very beginning, and it was before I even started doing any of this, about, oh, what am I going to look like in a swimsuit and shorts and dresses? And I was very concerned about that. And it took me a lot longer to get to that I don't give a fuck mindset. And I definitely think this has helped me in a sense. Because I wore a damn bikini and I didn't give a crap about who saw me or if anybody was saying anything. And that was a very liberating moment in my life. um, just not caring because I went that whole cruise and did not care if, oh, like this roll is sticking out or oh, like my leg is looking chunky. I didn't care. I just had fun and that was, something that it's taken a long time for me to get there. And now that I'm there, I'm like, okay, cool. What can I do next?
Right. And I think with that type of mindset, first of all, if you got the right mindset, you got a great personality, you can do anything. I think when you're just being true to thyself, as they say, that's wonderful. And I mean, with you getting to go to Mexico, first of all, good times, great drinks, great
Yes.
memories, great moments. Yes, I know you did it up. So
Hmm.
the plus side of this is, folks, I'm going to mention your Twitter here because Alex Knightley is all day up and all night Twitter vibes here. We got to talk about this here, Miss Alex Knightley. You were ready, like we talk about with our phones and social media, mind you, helps us to brand, helps us to grow. But at the same time, you're just like, I'm gonna shut my phone off. Mexico, here I am. Loved it.
Yep. And it was it was hard because I've been working so hard um the last, what, 4 months or so. Um and I've been pushing and like day job and this job, it just try to hustle and do as much as I can in such a short amount of time with no sleep. And um I think when we were getting ready to go on, because we went on a cruise and it was like $50 a day or something like that for internet. And I was like, no, I'm just going to unplug. I don't need it. I did have service here and there where I could like check in with family and things like that. But other than that, I was like, I don't need this. I spent the last 4 months on my phone day and night. It's time for me to just relax and unplug. And I did and came back and I've kind of noticed I'm not as into it as I was before. But just having that digital detox was fantastic, and I highly suggest it. You don't have to go a full 7 days, like I did, but
No, that's very important to one's mental health and one's psyche. And I mean, it's funny. Like, again, we talk about our high school memories here, but I was in 10th grade. Like, I was late to the Facebook party. So, what I mean by that is like a girl wanted who I was friends with at the time. I believe she was a sophomore at the time. I still keep in touch with her every now and then. But I mean, it's stuff like that where she's like, oh, I'll friend you on Facebook. I'm like, I don't have Facebook. And she goes, like, what? You don't have Facebook? I'm like, yeah, I don't have Facebook. So I pretty much got it just because one person wanted, and then you have like 30, 40 friend requests in like within a few hours. And it's like, what? And here's the problem with that. it's cool at the time because, mind you, 2010 was 13 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like I was
Right.
18. Now I'm a 30, 31-year-old man. I don't care. This is where it also comes into fruition. Like when it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it's great to promote yourself. At the same time, it's not the be all end all, and you need to have that disconnect, actually talk to a
Mhm.
person face to face. I think that's what's missing in today's society. But also look at it from a stance too as well, where people need to go on the block and just step away. And you really need to do that. It's better for your psyche, it's better for your mental health because we get so sucked into this social media web where we have to do this, do that. But at the same time, it's like, God dang, man, stop, sit back, smell the roses, do what you need to do, and just find some happiness and peace of mind for a little bit.
Right, exactly. And I think when I started Twitter, I got really focused into the numbers and into the followers and how many I had and pushing for more. And so I was constantly posting and constantly on there and just every day, day and night. And it got to the point where I could tell it was kind of starting to wear on me towards the end of before I went to Mexico. And that was a big thing when I started too, was I am very the type of person that if somebody was to say something negative towards me at that time, it ruined me. Like it was just, it would ruin me. And I would spend weeks in a bad mental headspace because of it. And I told myself if I started this and I got to that point, because I recognize that point in myself because I know I've been there so many times. If I got to that mental headspace that I was done, that it was no harm, no foul, shut everything off. I'm done. And luckily, I haven't had that happen. I think I've had one negative comment since then. And even then, I just laughed it off. But I mean, getting that digital detox is very important for your mental health because you don't realize how much it affects you until you're almost too deep into it.
Right. And I'll be honest with you, I think we can agree with this. Now, mind you, from a podcasting standpoint, and especially you do, what we do, it's very equal. We're content creators. We're constantly looking at ways to not just to do a show, but how we could do this and that. But also at the same time, it's like I've been at it for 7 years, and I'm like, man, there's so many times you want to quit, but also at the end of the day, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and the journey keeps on going. Which I equate this to you because the journey keeps on going. You've done this for a few
Right.
doggone months, and you're what at like 3,000 doggone followers right now, getting up to that level, man. Like you
Yes.
continue to grow. And I think that's wonderful because, again,
Yeah.
more people are putting their eyes to you. They like what you're doing. So that means you may want to get away from it. And I mean, you don't want to get too deep into it, but also at the same time, you yourself are being that shining light, one of the many shining lights of social media. So it works, it helps, you know?
Yeah, and it's about finding that balance.
Yep.
I don't have to push myself as hard as I did, but finding that equal balance of, you know, just making it work. And like you said, I don't know where that 3,000 came from. That still blows my mind, but I mean, and it's still growing, and that's something I never thought would happen, but here I am.
Well, you deserve it, man. You got a lot of spunk and you got a lot of personality, you got a lot of funness about you. So I urge anybody to follow Alexx Knightley. We'll promote it at the end of the show, but you're a great follow. And also at the same time with that, we got to talk about other things because not only do you possess that voluptuosity factor, not only are you here, there, and everywhere down in Mexico, like we talked about here on this shizo, my friend, you not only with your tats and with your piercings and with your flannel, because we got to put over the flannel here, folks. My God, you're rocking the flannel. Yeah, man. Rocking the flannel. You
It's
got the
flannel
nice,
season.
yes, and you got the nice little ensemble too, the little thing. Oh my goodness, little sexiness with the lingerie. Like it, like it.
Yep. I put this on earlier and I was like, oh hey, I forgot about this thing. I'm gonna wear this.
Which I'm gonna say this right now again, male point of view here, looking at you, the visualization, like I talk about here, folks, very sexy. Number one, and also very two, looks good on you. It looks good on you.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're very welcome. No, that's a lot of things that really applies to the sex appeal side of things. And one of the other traits that we find here from the sex appeal side, because sexiness comes in many different forms. We got the video game nerdy sign over here, because as you know, nerds rule the world, folks. This one over here, God of War, Ragnarok, Dungeons and Dragons. You're all up in the place, man.
Yes, yes. And God of War, I can't. It's so good. I'm still like halfway through it. And I haven't been able to play it in like 2 days. And I'm just like, I gotta go play it. I gotta go play it. Yeah, doing that. And last night, we had a game night where it was Dungeons and Dragons, and I run the game that we're currently doing. So there was a lot of prep that went into that. And it was the first time we've played in 2 months now because of the holidays. So yeah, it's something.
I think I'll add to that to the fact of like again, I'm an old school gamer. Like you give me some old school wrestling games, give me a little Gran Turismo for my racing fans out there. Give me some NBA, give me a little NFL, what have you. Like I still, and it's behind me here, folks. I got my PS2, old school PS2. I have my PS1 sitting somewhere, and my mindset was, why would I want to get a PS5 or PS4? Because I guess I'm very frugal with my money. Why would I want to just get if I'm only going to get like one game? Why spend the money when I got the retro side of things? And for you, we talk about you're a Mario Kart kind of girl. Give me a little
hmm
Mario, Super Mario Brothers. And nothing beats
hmm
the retro old school games, right?
No, it really doesn't. And even now, I got my nieces and nephews into Mario Kart, and it's just the only time that you can cuss at your nieces and nephews and have it be okay, call them names. It is, especially when they throw a blue turtle shell at you and you're in first place. Like, and I mean, I know they keep coming out with new stuff, but it's just even just experiencing that with them is so much fun and seeing their eyes light up when they get to play some of these old games. Like my niece is 8 years old and I got her into Crash Bandicoot, which was one of the first games that like I actually finished as a kid. And she went through and was playing them and she loves them. And they're a lot harder too. We've discussed that they're a lot harder than I remember growing up. And she, just watching her play those games and watching all of them, and it's so much fun. And having them experience those old games with us is or with it's so much fun.
And I'm going to mention this, and I'll say this, folks, for those that know me, that I'm a big wrestling fan, and I swear I play other stuff than wrestling games, but this is just childhood here. So, like you mentioned, I'll use this as an example because you're great with the different controls. Like when you're playing like SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth, or Here Comes the Pain. Now I'm taking everybody back to 02, 03, right? And then you get to like 07, and it's SmackDown versus Raw 07. You'll notice, folks, that they changed the freaking controls. It doesn't really have that same feel like when you're playing triangle, square, X, or what have you with the normal games, and then they switch it up, and you have to like get the feel of controller, like, oh, the new buttons. Okay, this is not what it used to do. It means this now. It does that, but also at the same time, what's cool about it, and I'm gonna put this in the holiday form since you just mentioned coming back from the holidays, and now we're into 2023 holiday season. If you get that video game, doesn't matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? You get that, you won't see us until probably the new year because Christmas, you're going to be staying up all night. You'll probably be in your room till New Year's. They want you down for dinner, that being your folks. Got to finish the game. You'll never see us again. Just give a
Yep.
video game for Christmas. You'll never see us again.
Yep, exactly. And that's honestly that's what happened. I got Ragnarok for Christmas. I was still playing the last one. So I hurried up and finished it. Um, but I don't even know how many, days and nights into it just to finish it so I could start Ragnarok because I was really excited about that one. And I love that game series just is fantastic. And so now I'm probably about not even halfway through Ragnarok. Um, and if I didn't have a day job, I would probably be doing that the whole time and staying up late. But, it is what it is. So,
I'll say this right now, since you bring up the day job, and this is why I love you, my friend. As someone who works days now, because I for sure a lot of times in my life here and the career that I've had and I've gotten the chance to do, be blessed with, a lot of my normal shoot jobs here have been night shifts because I'm a night owl, right? But when you get
mhm.
day shifts, it's a little different because again, you're up at early ass o'clock, you're doing the thing, you're doing the norm as we all do in this thing that we call life. But once we get to like evening, you don't even want to play video games to just prioritize, and you can't stay up to like 4 o'clock in the morning like you used to just want to get these games finished because you're an
Yeah.
insomniac and you're a freaking
Mhm.
zombie. But else at the same time, man, it's like stuff like that that leads it to it. And you mentioned Dungeons and Dragons, which it kind of takes me back to that Lucy McGuire episode, Dwarf Lord, where Gordo, for those that remember that episode of Lucy.
Yes.
But I love that too because I was the kid in high school. I had two friends who I've kept in contact with a little bit, like I mentioned, but they played Magic the Gathering. It was every time during lunch. We would eat our lunch, cafeteria, library was like right here, like right next to it. Boom, go in there, play some Magic the Gathering. Mind you, I had no idea what the hell I was doing because I've never played Magic the Gathering before in my life. I was aware of it, but I never played it. And my friend
Right.
used to get mad at me because I was winning. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like, why are you getting
Right.
mad at me? You're the one asking me to play this. I'm playing because of you. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But yeah, it's stuff like that where very popular games, and also that's very something that you could pass on from generation to generation, you know?
Right. And it's getting more popular too. And I know, like with my nieces and nephews, I bought them all dice. And so I know one of them in particular is really wanting to play. So I think I'm gonna take him to one of the game nights with my friends because they have a 13-year-old, we have a 13-year-old that plays with us too, a friend's kid, and just having them experience that. And I know his dad has a bunch of the old like Dungeons and Dragon books and he's been wanting to read them and get into them. And just seeing kids want to get into that kind of stuff is it's a lot of fun. And it's the whole theater of the mind thing too. And you get to be whoever you want to be and do whatever you want to do. And it's so much fun. And it's that great break from reality, kind of like we said earlier with like the digital detox. It's nice to be able to play games because like when we play our game, everybody kind of puts their phone away and we just focus on what we're doing. And you don't get a lot of that anymore. So it's a lot of fun. And I miss my friends so much. And unfortunately, we drank a whole bottle of tequila from Mexico last night.
Hey, video games and tequila, you can't go wrong with that, right?
Well, and it was funny because I should have known better because me and my friend, when we get tequila going, it's a whole different story. So, and I hadn't seen her in 2 months. So,
Hey,
um,
it's well deserved.
it was well deserved. It was well deserved. But just being able to hang out with friends, and we usually bring over food and we start at 5 and end it whenever we decide we're done. um it's so much fun. And I'm glad to say that there are more people getting into it. Because it's just great.
You need that. And I think we were talking about the detox here, and I also equated to when you were a kid, right? Like 2001, we're both, 90s kids. We're in our 30s, late 80s, early 90s, what have you. We know about that life, so to speak, folks. So you and I remember Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone was the big one, 2001. The Harry Potter series is starting, right? From the movie
Mhm.
side and the book side. And everybody would hate on J.K. Rowling because, oh my God, this book's about witches and wards and spells and what have you and wizards and all that, but and everybody was like writing like, oh my god. But I'm like, this book is helping kids want to read more, use their
Mhm.
imagination, and it's getting kids to open up their minds. You
Yes.
may not like the details of the book, but if it's helping kids, hello,
Yeah. What's the big deal?
that's
You know?
well, that's where we are in life. And especially, and I'll equate this to what you do with the adult stuff, whether it be OnlyFans or what have you. Look, folks, everything with OnlyFans is not just, nude photos and stuff. There's an interactive part where you get to talk with fans. Some people even do cosplay where it's not even naked. They're just
Mhm.
dressing in their favorite cosplay stuff. So you have to look at it from different variables, like we talk about the open-mindedness, where it's like, forget about the sensualized stuff because there's sensuality in everything. As we all know, sex sales. So what you need to do is just be more open-minded, look at it for what it is. If you like it, cool. If you don't, you don't. But also at the same time, look at it from that person. Are you helping? Is that person being helped from it? Is it keeping somebody off the streets? Is it keeping someone from wanting to be in a very depressive state? Whatever helps you, helps you. Let them enjoy
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, definitely. And I've had people, even reach out to me and been like, "Oh, hey, like, you know, your photos made me smile, like I was having a bad day, or your post was funny, or, just something like that." Yeah, I may take pictures naked and, things like that, but not all of it is that. It's that, like you said, that human connection, that interaction. Um, and cosplay, like I did do, and I think I did do some aerial pictures before, and I didn't post most of them because I didn't like them, but I mean, I've cosplayed before, and that's something I want to get into my OnlyFans and Fansly and stuff is more cosplay stuff. And um, Yeah, it's just like you said, it's more than that. It's definitely more than that.
Yeah, but and it's interesting too, and I just laugh at those people. I just laugh them off because it's a very laughable society where there's a lot worse stuff going on in the world, especially economy, what have you, normalized stuff that we see in our everyday lives. But this is the stuff that they nitpick, and I think that has got to stop. Number one, and also number two, I look at it from a stance with you two as well. Like, first of all, there's beautiful photos. You mentioned your smile. This one's always smiling. Pearly whites. Dare I quote Chips? I like my shiny teeth in me. Like it's the Fairly Odd Parents up in here. Hello.
Yes.
No, you're always smiling. I think that shows throughout your work and yourself as a being. But also at the same time, what's cool about it is it's either where you're doing it like this with your fists, you're smiling, what have you. Each and every photo has a detail and an intricacy and nuance to it. But also you mentioned the fact of kickboxing. Now you're in the kickboxing side of things. You know how to mollywop. You're disciplined, strikes, kicks, what have you. I want to ask you how you got into kickboxing, man, because you're doing the damn thing.
So I got into kickboxing. It was 2019, 2018. I had a friend that was going to kickboxing classes, um, and asked if I wanted to come. I think she gave me like a free pass to do a couple classes. And from that first class, I was just absolutely hooked. I couldn't walk for days afterwards, but I was absolutely hooked at after that point. And um, I went for almost 2 years. COVID kind of put a damper in that for a while. I got a bag in the basement and kind of set up my own area, and I'm ready to get back into it. I haven't done it for probably a year now. Because I would do things, hit the bag in the basement every now and then. But it's just, it was such a release after being stressed all day at work and going and just hitting something. Um, just being able to, you know, just have that release. And it was so life changing for me, um, as a person, because fitness, I have a love hate relationship with it, just because of like mindset and being bullied growing up. And, it was that whole, how do I want to say it? Like punishing yourself. I don't want to, and so anytime you think sometimes about going to the gym, I'm like, it's punishing myself. And I wanted to get away from that, and to find kickboxing, that was that moment where it just kind of, that connection broke, and I was able to fall in love with being active and fitness. And just it was so life changing. And actually, it's funny because I have we were talking tattoos. I have a tattoo of boxing gloves on my arm, because it was something that changed my life so dramatically. And I never thought that it would, but it did. And it's just, it's something I'm never going to forget. And it's something that I will always love.
And plus, I will say, throughout COVID, a lot of us got to be creative, whether you be hitting the bag or doing a lot of home workouts. And I see what you're saying. Like, I'll be honest, I was a kid who was bullied throughout my entire life. Kids used to tease me because I always used to bring sandwiches to school. I'm like, look, I love me some peanut butter and jelly. What the hell's wrong with me? It's a good freaking sandwich.
Right.
Also at the same time, it's the littlest things that kids will get on you for that, whether it be sandwiches or how you look at how you this. Oh God, you're wearing that sneaker. Oh God, you're too this, you're too that. We put ourselves through a lot of stigmas, so to speak. We get the stigmas about us, but I think at the same time, it makes us stronger. And whatever we take, such as a physical combative sport like kickboxing is, and an art form that it is, lets us to get us vent our frustrations, whether it be we write stuff down or what have you. There's always that outlet that really brings us a lot of joy and really gets to have ourselves in tuned with one another. So, I mean, I think
Right.
boxing has done a lot for you, even your kickboxing gloves and your tattoo. Yes. I,
Yes, definitely.
I know that
Definitely.
when you're not shooting stuffs in the virtual world of video games, you're hitting the bag. I see you. I like your style,
Hmm.
virtually and physically, right?
Yep, exactly. You have those days where you just got to kill something or hit something. It is what it is.
I mean, if Limp Biscuit did not write break stuff, it's all about the he said, she said bullshit. I think you better quit letting shit slip. You'll be leaving with a fat lip. Hello. All right.
Exactly, exactly.
But that's sometimes how life is. And I think life brings us a lot of ups and downs and all arounds, if you will. Put that on a t shirt. But I think at the end of the day, life is an art form and we are all here to apply our crafts. And my God, woman, you're doing a lot of great work with your crafts, literally and figuratively, with the art form that you put on with your paint and whatnot, man, with your costumes, with every single piece of content that you put on thus far. I can't wait to see what the future holds for you.
I'm really excited. I think 2023 is going to be a pretty amazing year. I'm excited to see what happens and see where things go. I mean, we started off hitting 3,000 on Twitter, and it's going to be crazy to see where what happens, you know?
Well, I think what we have here, folks, is one of the bright stars going into the OnlyFans side of things and everything that we see in general. Hope to see you back in Female Strike Force. I just hope to see you even more continuing on a daily basis with your Twitter, your Instagram. Once more, it's a great follow. I'm really excited for you, Alexx. And I'm going to say right now, before we close this thing out, you're more than welcome to come back on. I'd definitely love to have you back for round two. It's always a blast talking.
Yes. I appreciate that. I really enjoy talking to you and doing this. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you. And we're definitely going to do it up in the future. Now, for you, ma'am, you're all over social media. So let's promote the Twitter. Let's promote the Instagram. Where can we follow you?
Yes, you did this, and I was gonna write it down, and I forgot again. So my Insta or my sorry, my Twitter is Alexx with two X's underscore XOXOXO01.
Yep.
And my Instagram is just Alexx with two X's dot XOXOX. And then my link tree we'll put in there and has everything else. It's
Don't
always usually Alexx XOXOX of
don't
some
don't feel,
variation.
don't feel bad about this, folks, because a lot of my guests have had the problem where they've forgotten some of their social media at times. But the links will be in the description. Okay, well, first and foremost, there's all sorts of forms of social media now. We have TikTok now. There's this, there's that. Remember back in the days, folks, where back in '06, I never had it, but when we just had MySpace to worry about, for God's sake, and MySpace before Facebook and everything kind of came into fruition, right? It was simpler
Yep.
days.
I miss my MySpace. I wish I could have it back.
Well, no, that's the thing. I think with social media, everybody's doing. I know TikTok has become the rage, like we mentioned. There's Snapchat, there's this and that. Social media has really continues to grow in its own right, right?
Yeah, definitely. And there's always something new. There's always something new coming out and something different. Even with, the websites for, OnlyFans and Fansly and like those, there keeps coming more and more of those, and it's always changing.
All I gotta say is keep adapting, keep growing, and follow Alexx Knightley on the social media. There's a lot of X's and O's, I'm gonna say. So there's an underlying message with these Twitter and Instagrams. A lot of hugs and kisses. Yes.
Lots of hugs and kisses.
Yes. Well, you're a loving person. I could see that, from your vibrancy. I mean, folks, give her a follow. She does a lot of great work, a lot of beautiful photos, beautiful imagery, and she's gaming, killing things on the virtual side of things. I see you. I see you.
Yep, exactly.
And before we even close this out, like I said, you're such a lovely and vibrant person, Alexx. Now, do you have any final words for the people? Because I mean, from Female Strike Force to modeling to this to that, you're looking at every endeavor, invention, really, showcasing yourself. You have any final words to the people that want to do what you're doing now in the short time that you're doing it? But also, do you have anything to say to your fans that have been supporting you for this short journey and continuous long?
So, to my fans, I just want to say thank you so much. I can never repay for the love and support that you guys give me. Um, and you guys keep me going and keep me doing what I'm doing. And for anybody who wants to do this, just do the damn thing. Don't care about what people say. When I first started, I thought nobody's going to want me or want to see what I have to give because my body doesn't look like everybody else's. And it doesn't matter. There are people who have that body like you do, or, that like what you have to offer, and just do it. It can be completely life changing, as weird as that sounds, saying that, you know, taking naked pictures of myself is life changing, but it is, because it's changed me in my mindset as far as, positivity and confidence, and just just do the damn thing. Don't give a fuck about what other people say. Just do it for you and just be happy.
Beautifully and emphatically said. And I will actually add on to that because you actually said something that's very keen here. Now, I'm going to say right now, my weight has fluctuated over the years. The lowest I've ever been was 169. I think right now I'm about the 190, 200 pound range. And I'm going to say this right now. Can I lose a little LBs, if you will, folks? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We all can at our certain points. But if we're happy with ourselves, like I'm happy. You know what the thing is about it? I'm also going to add to your happiness and be happy. I woke up this morning. I took a breath. I walked my ass out the door. I walked my ass down the street. I used what I needed to do, and God gave me the ability to wake up and let me keep it on doing our thing. So I mean, hey, it's that God given ability, Miss Alexx Knightley.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And just like you said, just be happy that you wake up in the morning and that you're breathing and can walk out the door and do these things. It just don't take that for granted.
Count your blessings, love one another, be happy. Real deal sex appeal, Alexx Knightley. Before we close this out, beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. It's not just a mindset, it is just an overall message. And Alexx Knightley, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll talk to you in the next episode. Good night, everybody.
Yes.